it's Maya Grace in case you don't know, and today I'm going to show you how I made these cute little bunny ear clippies. These are a little add-on for my headdress pattern, which you'll find live on my Ko-fi right now as a free PDF download. And they are a great stash busting project. They can be sewn with two applique methods. You can either do a hand-stitched one that's more suitable for fluffier fabrics and gives you a much more subtle finish, or alternatively, you can do a satin stitch on your machine, which is going to be much faster. These make a great gift for the cutesy J fashion nerd in your life because you don't have to take any measurements off of them. All you need to fit them is a head that would like to be bunned. They also can attach either in your hair like a hair clip or onto a headdress to add just a little bit of flair. But that's enough of me yapping. Let's jump in.
This project is done with just two pattern pieces, the inner ear and the bunny ear. You'll want to cut 4 of pattern piece number 4, or the bunny ear, because you're going to be sewing those and turning them right sides out to finish the edges. And for pattern piece number 5, or the inner ear, you're only going to need to cut 2 of that one because it's an applique piece. To help sell the look of it being a fuzzy bunny ear, you could either use a soft fluffy fabric like I've done here with this stretch velvet, or you could just use a lighter fabric and that would read like the inside of an animal ear. And to do this project, you will likely want 2 ears, so that will be 4 pieces of pattern piece number 4, or 2 per ear, and 2 pieces of the inner ear, which is an applique piece, and you just need 1 per ear. I would recommend cutting along the dotted line of pattern piece number 5 and using it as a guide. You can either use it to mark the lines on your fabric that you're going to be following on your sewing machine, or you can use it as a guide to help you iron by folding under the fabric and pressing it well. If you're using a thick plush fabric, you're likely going to need to clip your curves so that the fabric doesn't overlap on top of itself and it sits nicely against your fabric. On that same note, you're likely going to want to whip stitch by hand so that you're able to push the corners underneath with your needle and control the final outcome of your hard work a little bit better. You can see me finagling all of the little parts of the curve and making sure that pieces are pulled out all the way and other pieces of the fabric are tucked in a little bit more to give me a nice consistent line. Alternatively, if hand sewing is not something that you would like to do, you could always use a satin stitch on your machine to get a classic applique look. And you see I'm just 5/8 of an inch away from the edge of my raw fabric on the inner ear, and I'm very carefully following that curve with a very tight satin stitch. If you need to put the needle down to turn your work while the machine is not running, I would recommend making sure that your needle is in the down position on the side closest to the outside of your curved edge. This way, you're going to have stitches overlapping on top of each other instead of stitches opening up and creating a gap. Because with a satin stitch, especially when we're doing applique, the goal is total coverage. And as soon as you finish your satin stitch, the next step is to trim the raw edge away, being careful not to cut the fabric underneath or the stitches holding everything together. Now place your ears right sides together and prepare to put it through the sewing machine. You may find that your fabric shrank a little bit whenever you attached the inner ear, and you may want to sew a little bit closer to the edge because of that. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and end of your seam line, and be sure to go slowly around that curve so that you are happy with the results. Before turning your ear right sides out, be sure to clip some notches into your curve because this will reduce bulk and help it lay nicely. Honestly, you cannot have too many notches, just be careful not to cut into the fabric and accidentally ruin your stitching. And once that's done, you're either going to attach your bunny ear straight to another project, or you can put it on a clip base. This will let you use it like a hair clip or attach it to a headdress or a little hair bow. And the opening at the top allows me to sew straight through my fabric and leave the outside edge of the bunny ear that will be showing completely unmarked by stitches. To finish the top edge of your bunny ear, you're going to go ahead and do a ladder stitch the same way that you would close a plushie. I find that the top flat edge can be a little bit jarring of a transition, so you can make a lacy bow and attach that to the top to help blend it into your hair or the headdress that you're attaching into. All in all, this is a really easy pattern piece to build off of and experiment with, and like I said, use to bust out some scraps and use them for something cute. Shout out to Baramy for modeling the ears for us.
And now that you can turn into a cute little bunny baby, be sure to share your favorite pics with me because I want to see. There's also a Google link down in the description box below where you can show me your makes, whether they're off of one of my patterns or not, or you can hype up a friend of yours that you think needs more recognition. And this will give you a chance to be featured on Keep Sewing On. In the description box is also where you'll find a link to my Ko-fi where I host all of my free sewing patterns. There are some very exciting ones coming very soon. This channel and all of my PDF sewing patterns are only made possible by viewers like you. So if you liked this video, be sure to give it a like so that more awesome people like you can see it. Bye, friends! Thank you for holding on to the headdress, Baramy. I feel like he just completes the look. Like, just two spooky woodland creatures hanging out 10 feet apart because they're not gay. Just kidding. We are.